Adnan Ahmed, CISO at Ornua. Ornua is a global food manufacturing company, headquartered in Dublin. From IT and OT perspective in the food manufacturing sector, the main reason behind those two environments is different is because the priorities from the IT and OT are different. For example, in IT environment, you're talking about CIA triad, confidentiality, integrity, and availability. Whereas in OT environment, it is first is the availability is very important, then safety, then integrity, and then confidentiality comes. So the priorities in IT environment and OT environment is different. The environments are designed and developed in a different way. For example, in OT environment, the devices that we have, they are last for 20 to 50 years. This is very common practice, especially in food sector. The profit margins are very small, so companies tend to stay with those devices to sweat assets. It's very common. So it's about the priorities are different. Now, recently we are seeing proliferation of different technologies. For example, we are talking about smart factories. Once you talk about smart factories, the difficulty we are facing as CISO is business and operations would like to do more automations, integration with ERP systems, IoTs. They are using cloud access connectivity. We are talking about AI proliferation. They would like to do a lot of AI use cases in the factories. These bring challenges, and those challenges needs to be addressed with regard to the new way of working. So those are the things which we are seeing is traditional environment is different than OT environment. We are trying to bring the same IT aspect into OT environment. When we bring all those things, we need to make sure we need to have the same level of security available. But that's difficult because the environment is different, the demands are different, regulatory compliance requirements are different. The answer to all of these is to make sure that the devices are protected using zero trust network architecture, making sure that you have zero trust. And zero trust starts with you need to trust everything, but before you trust anything, you need to make sure you need to validate every individual employees. So first, you need to make sure you have zero trust already in place in your environment, but also making sure that the devices which you are not going to be patched, you need to look for mitigating controls. So there is a series of events that you have to do to make sure the environment is protected. Yeah, so this is a really important question for CISOs to deal with on a day-to-day basis. So making sure that operations, when we are producing, we produce butter, Kerrygold. So we need to make sure that there is first element is availability is there, and we are producing it securely, and also health and safety are the main concerns from the operations. But from CISO perspective, we need to make sure that when the external OEM vendors trying to access those devices, it is controlled and is protected through zero trust network architecture. So the most important thing to make sure that whoever is connecting to your environment, they are feeling comfortable to gain access to the solutions, whichever solution that you are using it, and making sure that give them access based on-time access. So if they need access to maybe a couple of hours, make sure this is already given to that particular time frame. Same as for the same principle applies to your internal IT staff as well, that the zero trust principle shouldn't be only for external. You trust everyone, but verify. So if you use that principle, so making sure that even the internal employees and external employees both are using that principle to gain access to the environment. So that's, in my opinion, is very important. But at the same time, you need to make sure that the productivity of the production plant is not impacted. So making sure it's still highly available, it is secure, health and safety issues are not compromised, and also your environment is patched whenever it is feasible and possible to do that patching as well. These regulatory compliance actually help CISO to make sure that you're aligning all of your strategies to a specific framework. OT industry is not as mature as IT industry in food and manufacturing sector. Like you name it, you have ISO type of certification available, Some global companies are using NIST framework as well. In OT, mostly companies who are trying to follow, and they are already following it, we do the same thing. It's IEC 62443, but that whole framework is not that mature as compared to ISO or a NIST framework. But once you start aligning all the principles of security under one framework, it makes your life easier. And it comes with MFA, making sure that you do always verify principles, making sure that you assume breach principles, making sure you need to make sure you give minimal access to the environments that you need. There are new regulations coming. So in Europe, if I talk about specifically to EU, this is a Network Information Security Directive. It's called NIS2, which is being implemented. A number of countries within EU already have transposed NIST into their local laws. Like Germany, we have a big footprint in Germany. NIST is already become the local law. In Ireland and Spain, we have footprints as well, which we are waiting for the local governments to transpose into law. But NIST is also re-emphasizing the basic principles. Like MFA is required, making sure that your OT equipments, you have to have some sort of MFA available. If you can't do the MFA, making sure you have mitigating controls. In OT environments, because the devices are by default quite old devices, so sometimes MFA is not possible, but you need to look for mitigating controls. These are machine devices. So zero trust principle is still apply, MFA still apply, making sure the basic security hygiene, the backups of the environment, making sure that the environment connectivity is controlled. The network segmentation is very important in OT environment. You can't afford to have a flat network that if hackers gain access to your IT environment, you need to make it as difficult as possible for the hackers to gain access to your whole OT network. And most breaches which we see in manufacturing and food sector starts from IT, not from OT environment. So if you protect your IT environment, making sure you have micro segmentation and physical segmentation to make it as difficult as possible for the hackers to try to gain access from IT and OT environment. So those principles under the regulations are already helping you. So from CISO community perspective, we actually love those regulations because they make our life easier, that you're aligning your strategy against specific principles which are already available. So IEC 62443 and NIS2 are not two different things. They are talking about the same thing, but you are trying to align to principles that you can then follow.